The lobby was already buzzing when Wine stepped inside the Joan Corporation building far earlier than her usual time. People greeted her with polite bows, yet their eyes lingered a second too long. Whispering, watching, she sensed it instantly. Her pulse throbbed in her throat. Not today, please, not today. The weight of last night still clung to her chest like a bruise. She tightened her grip on her bag and walked toward the private elevator reserved only for executives' wealth, technically reserved for her husband too. Her cool, unreachable, beautiful husband. The moment she stepped into the elevator, the door slid shut with a soft thud, trapping her with the echo of the conversation she had overheard at the mansion the night before. Her mother in law's voice struck first sharp and forgiving like knives wrapped in silk. Last night, she cannot give this family and her Sojin 3 years and nothing. How long will we pretend we don't see it? Mr. Jones sighed, go down the hallway where Wine stood frozen behind the marble column. Nicole is back. Exactly. She was always meant for Jungkook. Everyone knows that. Her heart had slammed against her ribs and she still loves him. She said she's willing to forgive the past. Then, what are we waiting for? Divorce Wine quietly. No scandal. The announced Jungkook and Nicole's engagement after the board meeting next month. One's hand had flown to her mouth and make sure she knows it because she's incapable. Poor girl, she tries, but tries? I don't think so. Silence deafening. We will talk to Jungkook tomorrow. Good. It's time to fix our mistake. The voices faded, but the words carved themselves into her bones. Back to present. The elevator doors slide open on the 42nd floor, but before she could step out, her trembling fingers lost grip of her ID card. It clattered onto the floor. Wine shut her eyes, her hands they never shook. She had trained herself to be calm, composed, perfect in this building, but today, get it together. She crouched, picked it up, and plastered on the blank professional expression she had mastered over years of being Mrs. Jones, just not the Mrs. Jones anyone respected. As she walked toward her desk outside Chungkook's office, she heard it again whispers, is it true? Nicole is back? I think she met with Chairman Joan last night. What about his wife? His secretary, she won't last. She inhaled sharply. It didn't matter how quietly they whispered, her name always cut through the noise. Then a voice startled her. Ma'am, she turned. The new intern, Bailey 21, stood with an innocent smile and a stack of files. Are you still the CEO's wife? The question hit her so hard she nearly dropped her ID again. Why do you ask? The intern shrugged, unaware of the gunshot she had fired. People are saying Mr. Jones' first love came back. Something he might, get back together with her. One's throat tightened painfully. Focus on your work. Oh, sorry, ma'am. She walked away quickly, cheeks burning. Wine sank into her chair, trying to breathe normally, but the office felt smaller, warmer, suffocating. Behind the glass wall, Chuguk's door was slightly ajar. She could see the faint outline of him moving broad shoulders, perfect posture, sleeves rolled up as he typed. A sight alone made her chest ache. Not because she loved him, not because she knew she was going to lose him. And worse, he didn't even seem to care. A knock broke her thoughts. Mrs. Jones, the CEO, wants you in his office. Her heart skipped, of course it did. Of course, this morning had to get worse. She straightened her spine, wiped her clammy hands, and stood. And as she walked toward that glass door, she prayed just for once that Jungkook wouldn't be as cold as the world outside expected him to be. The moment Wine's fingers brushed the polished brass handle of Jungkook's office door, a chill ran down her spine. She had never felt the weight of the office so heavy, so suffocating. Her heart hammered as if it could break free of her chest. She stepped inside. Jungkook sat at his massive mahogany desk. His suit jacket was off, sleeves neatly rolled up, revealing strong forearms. He leaned close to the screen, fingers frozen above the keyboard. The dim overhead lights cast a reflection on the monitor. Multiple tabs were open, images of Nicole, news articles about her, even old photos from trips she had taken with him. Wine froze. No, this can't be real. Her knees buckled slightly. She pressed her nails into her palm, trying to stop herself from trembling. Jungkook's head snapped up and he froze mid movement, eyes wide. Who told you to come in? One's voice trembled, though she tried to keep it controlled. What? What are you doing, Jungkook? He immediately moved to close the tabs, fingers shaking as if caught in a storm. She caught the slight quiver of his hands, the one he never let anyone see. This is why I can't, why I'm nothing to you? Her voice cracked sharp with heartbreak. What did I do wrong, Jungkook? What did I do? Wine, wait. I heard them last night. Your parents, they're deciding to marry you to her, to Nicole, because I'm infertile. They said I can't give them in her. But do they know, Jungkook, that you never even touched me in that way? A single tear escaped raining down her cheek. Jungkook's eyes went wide for a fraction of a second. The impenetrable mask of his coldness cracked. What? They are arranging my marriage with her? Wine's voice shook with a mix of despair and fear. Yes, of course. And here you are watching her pictures like some quad, and they are plotting your marriage while you sit here staring at her. Jungkook sprang from his chair, eyes blazing yet tinged with confusion. No, no, you have got it all wrong, Wine. He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated and sure. I opened that folder once a long time ago because I forgot its password. Today I remembered it, opened it, and deleted all her pictures. I didn't. Wine blinked, staring at him, disbelief written all over her face. Deleted them, and that justifies all of this. Watching her pictures while my life is crumbling. Wine listened about my parents. I had no idea. I swear I didn't know they were planning anything. We need to talk to them right now together. Once just tapped her hands shook, but for the first time in hours, the anger bubbling inside her softened into exhaustion. So what now, Jungkook? You will just talk to them and everything will be okay. You know how much it hurts, right? To be invisible in your own marriage. Jungkook stepped closer, his voice dropping to a low, tense murmur, but still cold. I didn't know wine. You think I wanted this? You think I wanted to sit here and look at pictures of her? Do you think I have ever cared about them? about them more than you? Then why? Why didn't you touch me? Why didn't you? Jungkook's jaw clenched, his hand trembled slightly as he reached for hers, not in affection, but in desperation. I was afraid of what I would feel, afraid of losing control of myself. But why? I can't lose you, not like this, not to them, not to anyone. One swallowed her tears streaming freely now. Then prove it, Jungkook. Don't just say. Prove it before it's too late. Because right now, I feel like I have been living in a shadow of her. For the first time in what felt like forever, Jungkook's cold mask faltered, his eyes softened, it only for a heartbeat, and his lips pressed into a thin line, as if containing all the emotion he didn't know how to release. You are not a shadow wine. You are mine, and I will fix this, starting with them. Once breath hitched, her chest tightened, but the faintest spark of hope ignited in her heart. Then hurry, because every second counts, Jungkook, every second. The office fell silent except for the hum of the computers. Both of them sat there trembling not from fear, but from the weight of truth finally spelled, and the storm that was only beginning. The drive back to the mansion was silent, save for the quiet hum of the car engine and Wine's uneven breathing. Her fingers pressed into her knees, trying to steady herself. She could feel Jungkook's eyes on her in the rearview mirror, unreadable but burning with a silent intensity that made her chest tighten. Jungkook's voice finally broke the silence, calm but ice cold. We are going home, and when we step through that door, we need answers from them, all of them. White swallowed her heart dry. She had never seen him like this. So did her mind. So far as a storm was coming, and she was right at the eye of it. The mansion loomed ahead, grand, imposing, but today it felt suffocating. The moment they stepped inside, the air shifted. Mrs. Jones sat in the drawing room, perfectly poised, lips curved in a tight, cold smile that didn't reach her eyes. Mr. Jones stood behind her, hands clasped, observing, waiting. Mother, father, his voice cut through the room like a blade. Explain, what exactly are you planning? Mrs. Jones' gaze flickered toward wine, sharp in oneness. Explain, you mean what you have clearly failed at Jungkook? This girl, can give you and her. Everyone knows it, and now you're wasting time with her. Then Nicole, she let the word linger like poison. Nicole is back, willing, ready. Once she started, the words landed like blows. But before she could even speak, Jungkook stepped forward, his expression ice cold, voice low but level. Mother, don't speak about her like that. Not here, not ever. Mrs. Jones' lips curled further. And why not, Sojin? She's incapable, she's weak, she's nothing. Jungkook's gaze snapped to wine. She felt it like a shield, like an invisible wall of fire that no one could cross. She is not nothing, and you will never speak of her like that again. Mrs. Jones' eyes narrowed, and if you cannot give me what I want in her, then what choice do I have? Wine felt her chest tighten. She opened her mouth, ready to defend herself, but Jungkook's hand brushed her, standing drowning. No, you will have no choice because I decide who I marry, and I will not marry Nicole ever. Mrs. Jones' lips trembled in disbelief. You, how dare you? Jungkook stepped closer, towering, every inch of him a commanding presence. A man does not let a snake bite him twice. I will not be manipulated. I will not marry her, and you will respect my wife, or there will be consequences. Do you understand? One's hands were trembling, but for the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a failure, not as a problem, but as Jungkook's partner protected, defended, and valued. Mr. Jones' face paled, but he said nothing. He wanted in her, then accept reality. One is my wife, not because of some obligation, not because of your plans. She's my wife, and she will not be insulted under this roof. Mrs. Jones' eyes flared hatred and shock wearing on her face, but Jungkook's hand rested lightly on Wine's shoulder, a silent promise, a shield. Nicola is the past, wine is my present, and if either of you cannot accept that, he let the words hang, little undeniable, then you will step aside. One swallowed, a shiver running down her spine. His protective dominance was terrifying and intoxicating at once. She felt a surge of relief, gratitude, and love all at once, mixed with a lingering ache from everything she had endured. Mrs. Jones finally leaned back, lips pressed thin, furry simmering, but she said nothing further. Jungkook's cold, unwavering gaze pinned her in place. You are mine. No one will make you feel worthless while I'm breathing. She dared a glance at him, and for a moment the world outside disappeared. The battle wasn't over, but for now the storm had a victor, and she could finally breathe. The bedroom was quiet, almost painfully so. The faint glow of the city lights filtered through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the room. Wine leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, heart still racing from the confrontation downstairs. Her eyes narrowed as she finally spoke, voice trembling with heart and disbelief. Why, Jungkook? Why did you treat me like I was nothing, like I didn't matter? All these years I have tried, I have waited, I have. She swallowed her tears returning. I have tried to be your wife, and you made me feel invisible. Jungkook sat on the edge of the bed, his expression unreadable, but his hands clenched tightly in his lap. For a long moment he said nothing. Then finally his voice broke the silence, cold but raw. Because of her, Nicole, because of what she did to me. One blinked confused and hurt. Nicole, you mean the woman from your past? That's why you treated me this way? He nodded slowly, eyes fixed on some distant point in the room, as if seeing the memories play back in front of him. I trusted her with everything, my heart, my life. I believed in her, and she betrayed me, left me when I needed her most. Left me broken, and after that, I couldn't trust anyone, not fully, not anyone, including you. Once just tightened, she had never imagined the weight he carried, the reason behind his coldness, his distance, the night she had lain awake, wondering why he never held her, never touched her the way a husband should. So you pushed me away because of her, because you couldn't trust any other girl. Her voice cracked. All these years, Jungkook, I thought you didn't care. For the first time, he looked directly at her. His dark eyes, usually sharp and unreadable, were heavy with regret. I'm sorry, truly. I never meant to make you feel worthless. I never meant to make you feel unloved. I thought keeping you at a distance would protect us both, protect you from my brokenness. One's shoulders slumped, the anger and frustration giving way to a fragile, aching understanding. So, all this time, it wasn't because you hated me or because you didn't want me. He took a step closer, voice softening, almost pleading. No, it was never that. It was fear, fear that I would hurt you, fear that I couldn't love you the way you deserved. Because my heart was still scarred by her. But I see it now, I see that I was wrong, and I want to make it right. Once eyes glistened with unshed tears, she searched his face, looking for any trace of deceit but found none. And can it be right, Jungkook? Can you trust me? Can you love me without her shadow looming over us? He stepped even closer, closing the small distance between them, his hand hovered near hers, hesitant as if afraid she would pull away. I will try harder than I ever have with anyone, and I swear, Nicolas the past, you are my present wine. You have always been my present. Even when I couldn't admit it to myself, I was wrong, and I'm sorry, truly. Wine let out a shaky breath, the tension in her body slowly melting. For the first time in years, she felt seen not as a shadow of someone else, not as a failure, but as herself. The room was silent again, but this time it was a silence filled with tentative hope, fragile trust, and the quiet promise of something real beginning to bloom between them.